Paul, yes. Just thinking of the Internal Revenue Service and all those employees of the IRS, yes. They were going to tell me that it's not tax-free income to expose the corruption of the government. Oh, you must not like your job. Now, when you allow for the defrauding of the United States Treasury because you're an IRS agent and you say, well, he can't do this, and I would say, yeah, I can. See, my thought is that any time you use a forgery to issue a court order, that's fraud, folks. Every time you have court hearings without notice to the respondent, that's fraud. So, when you don't protect the civil rights of American citizens, that is fraud. And when the IRS refuses to enforce the IRS code because they just don't want to look bad, it could be that the employees of the IRS don't like working there. Oh, now I know we spent a lot of money training you at the Internal Revenue Service, but I'm thinking the name's going to be the External Revenue Service because I will terminate employment of every individual in the employment of the Internal Revenue Service. So you can all reapply for employment because you just won't enforce the fucking tax code. Now, you wanted me to pay income tax on me being a whistleblower, informing the federal government of the crime of using fraud to issue court orders, where my rights have been violated for over 7 years. You issued a fraudulent permanent order for support where I was not given notice of the actual settlement conference setting hearings. You decided to refigure the numbers that were given to me when you arrested me at the same moment as serving me the dissolution of marriage. You put me in jail numerous times without a valid protection order. And then you're sitting there in the IRS thinking, I won't fucking do what I say. I will. I will fire every Internal Revenue Service employee of the United States of America, and I'll make you reapply for employment. Now, why don't you get me the actual locations of every property that the IRS thinks that they own, because you're just employees. See, the Internal Revenue Service was set up to collect the actual taxation of the population. Yes, for the United States Treasury. And when I have informed the IRS, because I sent you emails about the fraud of issuing court orders where I've been deprived of my rights, and you thought you didn't have to do anything, I'm sorry, but you are sorely mistaken. Now, I'm wanting my sons today, and from what I had seen on the front page of the sports page, they're about 2 hours drive from here, and I'd like to speak to them. And for every agent of the IRS that thinks that they can allow for the violating of the laws of the United States and the fraudulent use of judicial power, you'll fucking find out that I'll fire every fucking one of you. Then you can all reapply for employment, and then we'll change the name of the IRS, and we'll have new policies that if you ever allow for the fraudulent use of any oath of office, any judicial position, any attorney of the United States, you personally will be liable as an employee of the IRS for any and all fraudulent non-payment of taxes because of your payroll system, where you come to find out where the fucking money is. Now, I know. You thought well, it can be a for-cause action against the whole Internal Revenue Service for allowing this come-to-find-out system of payments. And then coughing the money up because everybody had to have a lizard in their ass. But the truth of the matter is, I am an actual whistleblower, and I am covered under the Whistleblower Act for exposing each and every instance of fraud. Now, there was the 1677 statute of fraud and perjuries. Yes. But then there's the Fraudulent Claims Act. Now, let's say you bought some real estate. You thought you'd build a school? Yes, you passed a bond. Why don't you give me the actual real estate that was purchased to build any school in the United States? I'd like to know who the previous owner was and what the agreement of the terms were to build the school on that property.